Hi YouTube, and this is JTrain997.
And Carolina Poison here.
And we're back with the Sarcasm Soundwaves podcast episode Trace.
Trace still going with the Mexican numbers.
Yeah, don't worry. We'll get to like 12 and I'll start forgetting.
Ocho.
Docen?
I don't know. Both of my Spanish teachers were two different dialects. Dialects. Speaking of, that's a great segue.
Conjugate.
That's a great segue. Didn't even mean to. Mr. J Train here, I have finally converted him into being a Whovian.
Yeah.
Doctor Who is probably the biggest love in my life right now. Sorry, Lauren. I love you to death, but I think she'd understand because she's probably just as big into it as I am.
What is the meaning of this false cognitive? I want to put a picture of a Dalek with a sombrero on it.
Enchiladas. But I finally got him into Doctor Who. And tell him, how are you liking it so far?
You told me straight up there were some episodes in the beginning you were going to have to make me sit through, and you know, as a nerd, this is something I've always been aware of, and people have always been like, there's two things people are always mad at me that I wasn't into. That's Dragon Ball Z, which I grew up with, and I just never got into it.
And I just found that out today, and that is just heartbreaking that you don't like Dragon Ball Z.
I mean, it's not that it's a bad show, it's just like, every time I try to get into it, it would be like, oh, this is the middle of the Frieza saga, I have no fucking clue what's going on.
That's the best saga.
Well, yeah, it's like I'm watching Abridged, and Abridged is fun, and Abridged kind of makes me wish I had watched the show in order. Mm-hmm. But it's not something I'm pursuing right now. Maybe in the future.
I dare you to find an episode where someone does not yell.
I dare you to find an episode of the Dukes of Hazzard where the car doesn't jump. Actually, you probably could. Never mind.
That wouldn't be any fun. Anyway, Doctor Who.
Yeah. So this is something I've always kind of been aware of. You know, you don't go into a shop like FYE or Hot Topic or something for the past, God, almost 7-8 years without seeing a sonic screwdriver or a Dalek or a TARDIS. And, it's not something I was avoiding. It's just something that I'm like, I'd see the commercial and I'd be like, man, the special effects are really, really, really bad, and I don't want to watch it.
Yeah.
And I'd go and I just avoid it. And it was something that I never had anyone personally who was like, oh, I love that show. It was always just something that's in the comic shop. It's on the TV. It's something I'm not watching. And the first 2-3 episodes, I was like, this is exactly what I expected. Okay, Eccleston's a lot better than I thought. He's really carrying this show.
Yeah. I don't know why they chose, I think they're pronounced the Altons, or Alton, I don't know, the A-U-T-O-N, the mannequins.
The finger bang mannequins.
Yes, the finger bangs. I don't know why they chose those to be the villains in the first episode of the rebooted season. I guess because they are a really old character. I believe their first appearance might have been with the third Doctor, John Pertwee, but they were just really bad for television. If they didn't have the special effects any better than they did way back then, they weren't going to make them any scarier now. But those, I think, maybe I really had to make you hold on with the Slitheen people and them farting like crazy and stuff. That one, that would have turned me off. I don't know how I survived past that, but I'm glad I did because it's a wonderful show.
There's things like that. Like in the beginning, I'm like, okay, this is childish, this is stupid. And then I think
it is straightforward for all ages. They do try to make it for kids.
And but I don't really know what episode it was because I want to say it was 5 or 6. Whatever the Dalek episode is, where he finds the Dalek like in that guy's museum.
I think it's
I was hooked.
5.
Yeah. Because I don't remember what 3 and 4 was. No, it was Charles Dickens and
then 3 and 4 were the Slitheen.
No, because it's the end of the world.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about the end of the world with the face of Bob.
Charles and Dickens, the 2 Slitheen, and then so Dalek is like 6 or 7.
6 or 7, one of those. Yeah. Man, it's been a while.
And I mean, it's like you said with because I'm in the middle of season 2 now, and no one's bullshit for me.
Yeah, please, everybody. I've been trying my best to keep him away from spoilers. It is a minefield out there, especially with this year being the 50th anniversary. I'm trying to push you forward so fast through all these seasons just so you won't get spoiled because it's so hard.
It's such a great show, but and this is kind of off topic, but we took a trip to a comic shop out of town yesterday, and they had new Doctor Who toys, and the new Doctor Who toys ruined the ending of this season.
Yeah, if you guys don't want to hear about this, or maybe, I may be wrong. I don't know. I've just never heard about it. But if you are scared about spoilers for this next season, just skip ahead maybe 5 minutes. But we went into the comic book shop, and there was a new screwdriver, because I was showing him all the ones like the master screwdriver and stuff. Granted, remember, he hasn't seen any of those yet. But they had the temporal, what was it, the temporal something screwdriver? I don't know. What was it? It was something temporal.
You yanked it out of my hand, and I never saw it again.
I don't know, like the something temporal screwdriver, sonic screwdriver, and I've never seen it before. And it had a wood setting. And if you know, like the sonic screwdriver doesn't work on wood, it's like a running joke. It has a wood setting, and on the back it says that he's stuck in between 4 timelines. He's stuck in Victorian, like Elizabethan, Victorian, present day, and future London, all at the same time, and the TARDIS has to make him a new sonic screwdriver to get him out. That hasn't happened yet. Not to my knowledge. That has not happened yet. So I don't know if they... And apparently these toys have been out in the UK for a while. Apparently. I don't know. That's the only thing I could find about it. And I don't know. I really hope that this is something new, but I don't understand why they would have done it sooner, because there's also a gun that I don't really... I don't want people to see it. Like, there's a gun that basically is like the end of, you know what, fuck it. There's
spoilers.
Yeah, spoiler alert. As you know, what was it? Hold on, let me find the whole quote. With this, not this current season, but the end of the 6th season, I believe. It's like this big running thing was like silence will fall, and then it's like on the fields of Transalora at the fall of the 11th, when no living creature may speak falsely or fail to give answer, a question will be asked, a question that must never, ever be answered. Doctor Who. And so apparently this gun, and the only reason I'm spoiling it for you is because
I was there at Ground Zero when you found out.
You were there when we found this toy and we're reading about it. So apparently this gun, like apparently the Doctor dies sometime. And so the Doctor dies at the end of the season, and the Daleks and the Cybermen wage war all across the galaxy, and the Weeping Angels are picking up the pieces, just like scavengers. And these people called like the clerics are make this gun that pulls them into the time vortex and erases them out of history. I mean, that would line up perfectly with the Silence Will Fall thing, and maybe that will lead into the 50th anniversary with David Tennant and stuff like that to bring the Doctor back to life or something like that. Which, that sounds pretty cool. So, I don't know. I just don't understand why they would have released these two guns. These two, like, figures and stuff. I don't understand why they would do that, especially seeing as how secretive Stephen Moffat is with everything. And, I don't know. I hope it's something coming soon, but I don't know. Maybe if you guys... you can follow me at J. Tyler Green on Twitter. Just let me know if you know something that I don't, because it's driving me insane.
Yeah, and this is kind of going back to it, but like last night, I think we got up to the K9 episode, and that, because you told me going in that I'm going to cry like a bitch in this show.
Yeah, like, I don't cry about a lot of things, but Doctor Who, it knows how to tear your heart out and stomp on it and just... like put you to your knees, because I probably teared up and like cried on many episodes.
Yeah, because last night I didn't cry as a man, but I came close because K9 was there, a character who I literally have never seen before because I haven't watched the old ones, and he's just like you find out he's like K9 has to stay behind. He's like, you're a good dog, K9. Affirmative, and I'm like, oh god,
I know. And see, I completely forgot about that episode. I mean, with K9 about him. About that whole little thing, I completely forgot because I just watched all the episodes and never went back and watched all of them like that. Like, I went back and watched some of my favorite ones, but not that one. And I believe K9 is with the 4th Doctor, Tom Baker. I don't know if it was the 3rd, or I don't know how long he was on it, but he's pretty big, and I like how they do stuff to the old series, too. Because apparently for the 50th anniversary, they're bringing back some old villains, too.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm. And it's going to be in 3D, which I'm excited for.
TV 3D never works.
I don't know, but it's Doctor Who. They're going to throw a bunch of money on this thing because...
so they'll throw the average amount an American TV show spends?
Yes! Because we spend $1 billion on one explosion. But who was Matt Smith. I think he brought the Doctor to the public eye in America because he said he's like, yeah, we're famous in London and England and the UK and stuff like that, but when you come to America, it's like we're superstars. Like people, because in this current season, part 1, they filmed something in an episode in New York, and then everybody's just like following them around while they're filming and won't let them stop. And they're like, please be quiet. And they're just like, Matt Smith and stuff. So Doctor Who's become a huge phenomenon lately.
Yeah, this is America. You don't just like something. You either are obsessed with it or you don't like it at all.
Nope, it's your way of life.
So, I mean, you're like, yeah, you're going to want a screwdriver. And I looked at it. I'm like, I don't want one of those stupid things. And then I was like halfway through, I'm like, oh, God, I need it. I need a screwdriver.
When we saw that that Toys R Us was having the 50% off the entire store sale yesterday, you jumped out of the car before I could even park it because you wanted to get that screwdriver.
And they were sold out, the bastards.
I mean, that sucked. I mean,
and the guy's a prick. He's like, oh, yeah, we had like 50 of those things, and they're all sold.
They had 2.
Yeah.
They had 2. But, right now, the 11th Doctor screwdriver is $30, and the 9th and 10th Doctor screwdriver is around that same price. When I got my screwdriver, the 10th Doctor one was like $20 max.
You know what I think I'm going to do? And I've got a birthday coming up in 16 days, May 16th, like 30 days, maybe 20, 25. I don't know. I'm bad with math. I think I'm just going to go up to Borderlands, which is the comic shop I went to. They've got like a little Doctor Who display and just be like, yeah, all my birthday money for this. This is what I want.
That's what I did for Lauren. She just asked, this whole Christmas was nothing but extra Doctor Who stuff, and she was just telling my mom stuff to get, and I'm just didn't know, and mom's just like, what Doctor? There's more than one. What's he want? And my little brother was so concerned that I was getting more toys than him, and he's like, oh, can I play with them? I'm like, go away.
No, that was the other, and this is off topic too, but I was with my sister in Walmart the other day, and I'm like, oh, I got to swing by the action figure section. I'm like, oh, they've got the Beast Hunter Shockwave. I always get Shock Blast from G.I. Joe and Shockwave from Transformers confused, but names. But I'm like, oh man, this is rare. You can sell this on eBay for like $50. And she's like, are you gonna sell? I'm like, no, I want it. She's like, what are you gonna do when I have a kid and we're in here? And he's like, Uncle Jared, is that for me? I'm like, haha, no. This is mine.
That's what we were talking about. Whenever we have kids, Christmas is just going to be so weird. I was like, oh, this is mine. Oh, no, that's mine. Santa brought that to me. That's not yours. That's mine.
Yeah, sorry.
We put the wrong tag on. That's mine. Go away.
Because, and we talked about this too. It's like, okay, if you get all these under your report card, Daddy will take you to Toys R Us and let you pick out a toy. If you don't, you have to go to Toys R Us with Daddy and watch Daddy pick out a toy.
Oh God,
we're gonna be terrible parents.
But they will learn how to respect their toys. If they treated them like I treated my Dragon Ball Z figures, I will smack him.
Yeah, because I used to do the same thing, slamming them into each other, cracking them up. They had a toy when I was little, and it was from the Spider-Man cartoon, and it was Spider-Man with a parachute. You toss him in the air, parachute came out, that whole deal.
Spider-Man?
Yeah.
I had that.
I had about 20, and I can still find them. And I broke the right arm off the web shooting arm. I don't know what it was, if it was poorly made or something. I got about 20 Spider-Mans all with a broken arm. Because my house is 2 stories, so I would be out there on the roof, and my mom would be freaking out. I'm up there chunking my Spider-Mans off.
They don't make toys like they used to.
They really don't. 3 3/4 inches getting big, and for G.I. Joe, that's great, because that's the size G.I. Joe's always been, with the exception of the 12-inch dolls, but the Marvel Universe and the Iron Man 3 and the Dark Knight Rises toys are absolute shit. Those are McDonald's toys.
Yeah. I think my favorite all-time toys were the Beast Wars. I just can't let them go. I don't know where all of mine are. I think my parents might have actually thrown them away or sold them by accident when I was... Yeah, I know. I hate it. I didn't like Transmetals? Something like that.
Yeah,
I stopped on that.
It was a lot of the same figures.
Crap.
I think I bought a Dinobot, which I still have, and that's all I got.
I have a re-released Dinobot that they did a few years ago, just because that was the closest thing I could get to getting it again. Because I don't want to pay. I can't afford all of how much it is on eBay to buy all these over again. But I just like them how realistic they looked and stuff. Rat Trap was a real rat, and I had the big Optimus Primal and stuff, and I think I got Optimus Primal and Megatron, the big T-Rex Megatron for Easter one day. Oh, it was the greatest thing ever. So I was just sitting at church playing with them. They're like, "Don't do that," and I was like, "Shut up."
God will understand. There's, and I will say this as a Whovian, all of the Doctor Who stuff is overpriced, like way overpriced. Like, don't get me wrong, I want it all. I'll pay the prices
It's gotten
they're
a
asking.
lot worse lately.
But like that's the bigger screwdriver I can see paying $30 for, but the little one, the ninth and 10th Doctor one,
It's because it's a pin on the end of it.
I don't give a shit.
I honestly hate that about it because when I use it as a pen sometimes, like I'm just in my man cave and stuff, and I got to write a list because I'm so OCD. I got to write a list of stuff to do the next day, and I'm writing it, and it falls off because it just attaches to it. So the way I write with the pen, I like knock it off, and so I have to write with the nub. So just make it. I don't need a pen on it. Just make it part of it. I don't need it to do anything. But the 11th screwdriver is awesome, just because it comes out as the claw.
Yeah, that thing's cool. I'm like the Masters and like. See, I haven't seen anything Doctor Who yet I don't want. Like, I haven't seen the Master, but I want his laser screwdriver. I saw Jack, and I want his vortex manipulator, and I want his gun, and I want the toys.
I'm going to tell y'all again, if you guys leave comments...
Well, you'll be blocked.
With
I don't care
spoilers.
how long you've been a follower. I don't care how much I care about you as a fan. You ruined Doctor Who for me. I'll block your ass.
I will come to your house and stab you in the face.
With a screwdriver.
With my screwdriver. With both of them. You don't want to know where the second one's going. I have been trying my best to keep him out of this minefield, and
because you had a lot of stuff ruined for you.
Yeah, just like I didn't know how. Like when I did it, I didn't realize how the wikis and stuff were. So I just wanted to look one thing about, like regeneration or something like that. I forgot what it was. It just ruined like something big for me. I'm just like, damn. And I mean, it was just like with one sentence, like basically how I got Game of Thrones ruined. I should have known from Doctor Who not to go down that route.
Yeah.
But who is it? I don't know. I'm really hoping Stephen Moffat stays on for a little longer. I think he's getting a little too ballsy though, because this season, the season finale of this season is The Name of the Doctor. So it's one reason why I got to get you through these seasons so you can get that before it does get spoiled, because I think there's like protest in London and stuff saying that they don't want to know his name, and I don't either, because that to me would ruin the show, because that's the whole thing. Like I feel like when you know his name,
maybe it'll be
over.
Like they mouth it but you don't hear it, because didn't it say like his name destroys worlds or something?
So it's like something that should never be asked. It's like the first question of the universe. Doctor Who.
Every time they did it, they're like, Doctor Who? You're like, watching the show.
I know. You're just like, like it could be a drinking game. But like every time I say Doctor Who, you just gotta chug. It's like, Doctor Who. Oh, yes. But
that show's so... I mean, there's so many just great one-liners in there. Is like, because you told me the joke before we watched the K9. We stopped right before the Cyberman Tomb Horror, which I was so mortified because I wanted to see it so bad, but it was like 1 a.m.
It's really good.
But... the part where he finds the horse on a spaceship.
Yeah.
And she's like, Arthur, it's what? It's a good name for a horse. You're not keeping the horse. I let you keep Mickey.
Yes, I love him. See, don't you feel like you're cheating on Eccleston though?
Yeah, I'm still saying it. Like at this point, I'm starting to like this guy more than Eccleston, which makes me feel like a bastard because like I have Eccleston's my first Doctor and he's Destro. And I don't want to let go of loving Eccleston.
I know, I was the same way, and it's the same way with Matt Smith. You will love him, but you like them all in a different way. It's like, okay, like, Eccleston needed to go because he was just so overcome with, like, guilt that he killed all of his people and the Daleks and stuff. And then, now when he regenerated, he's, like, carefree, and he found love with Rose, And so and you see their relationship. And then you'll see more with the 11th Doctor, why he needed to go and stuff like that.
Yes, you told me David Tennant, or is it Matthew Tennant?
David Tennant.
David Tennant. By the end of the season, that he regenerates, his life is just like utter shit.
Yeah, it is shit. Of course, that's the life of the Doctor. No one's safe. He can't, that's a running thing which, I don't know if you've seen some of it or not, but it's basically he can't. Like I told you, in the classic ones and stuff, Time Lords are assholes. Time Lords are really just obnoxious and just think they are just cock of the walk. And so the Doctor needs a companion because he'll just kill everything. Because, like now with David Tennant, he is like, you get one chance. There's no second chances. Because you cut off his fighting hand.
That was great.
But yeah, y'all don't want to hear us talk about Doctor Who. So are your fans Whovians?
Some of them. Some have been trying to get me into Doctor Who for a while. That and Dragon Ball Z. They're always like, do you like Doctor Who? Do you like Dragon Ball Z? And before I was like, no. And they're like, oh, you son of a bitch. Now I'm like, yeah, I love Doctor Who. Fuck yeah.
Yeah, I personally love you guys, but y'all can be some real spiteful sometimes. Good lord.
But that's just YouTube.
Yeah, true. You do have the better of the followers. I think on most things, at least they don't call you just say oh, just go kill yourself. Go jump in front of a train, J-Train.
Some do.
Oh. Well, just die.
Wait till I start. We used to do these top 10 countdowns, and we had top 10 fictional heroes, and they're like, oh yeah, everyone kept guessing that my number one was gonna be Dragon Ball Z, and I'm like, I kept saying no, it's not. It's not gonna be Dragon Ball Z. And then they got to it, and my number one was the Dukes of Hazzard, and everyone's like, that's bullshit. You didn't pick Goku? You stupid fucking son of a bitch.
It's your opinion.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, because we were encouraging people. We're like, everybody do one. We'll have a big thing, and we'll all go to each other's channels and watch. And people just got pissed, man.
Yeah, they take it too personal. It's like, we don't have to do this.
Yeah, it's like, so I don't like Dragon Ball Z. That doesn't mean it's not good. It means it's not something I enjoy. Fuck, I know a shit ton of people love it.
Yeah, it's like right now, guys, I don't know what the sound quality of this is. I mean, it's better than I thought it was going to be, but right now we're just sitting on a couch with my MacBook just in between us using GarageBand to do this because we don't have any professional equipment. We're unemployed at the moment. Blockbuster screwed me over.
Which would be why you haven't seen reviews of Screwdrivers yet, but around May 16th the next month, you'll start seeing Screwdriver reviews.
Yes. But yeah, so, we just do this because, we like to talk about it, like to, y'all to get involved and stuff like that. But we do, don't yell at us because you don't agree with us. It's our opinions.
Well, it's like the G.I. Joe Midnight thing. We made, you cracked the joke that it was worth $7 to see Channing Tatum die.
Yeah.
And this one asshole gets on there and is just going insane, leaves 3-4 comments about how we're both such dicks that we said that, and
it's like, I'm sorry that you really
can't take a joke.
Yeah, I just don't like Channing Tatum. That's my thing. So, so that way G.I. Joe would never suck for me. So I got to watch him die.
Yeah, it's just one of those things. People take it too seriously sometimes, but my fans are good. Sometimes I have one little spat and I'll have to block somebody, but there's over 3,000 people that sub me, and most of them are great.
Oh, also, I about totally forgot. I forgot this was the second time we tried starting this podcast because it crashed earlier. Was it the Xbox reveal?
Yeah.
Yesterday, before we went to the comic shop, spending money we didn't need to.
Yeah.
But it was worth it.
I got my Thrones of Atlantis crossover into Justice League. That was $12 well spent.
Oof. God, I really want those screwdrivers. Damn it. Okay, anyway, Microsoft finally announced, basically announced, saying that May 21st, a new generation will be revealed. So they finally acknowledge a new Xbox, but I don't know. We know that we're going to see the console. They're not going to pull a Sony and not show us the console because Larry Herb and some other person on that works with Microsoft, they were cracking jokes about, you did a PlayStation 4 announcement, not even show the console and stuff like that. So we're never going to see it. I don't think we'll get a date. I think we'll get a time window, and I don't think we'll see a price.
A Time Lord?
I would buy it. And
this is, I'm sorry to not step back, but there was a bathrobe in the comic shop yesterday that said Time Lord on it, and we both wanted it.
I think everybody should. I'll get back on Xbox in a second, but I've been wanting to talk Doctor Who on this thing for a long time. I could talk about it for hours. I have a Scion TC, and that is good for two things. One, if you watch Frisky Dingo, it is the best car in the universe.
Scion TC, Scion TC.
And then second, it's bigger on the inside. So it is basically a TARDIS. I call it my TARDIS because everybody's just like, oh, it won't fit in there. I was like, all right, go ahead, try. And then everything fits in there. Like when I lived in a dorm room, my whole dorm room fit in there. We got a gigantic chest of drawers to fit in there. I think we got our day bed that we have in our spare bedroom. We got it to fit in there. Everything fits in that little car because it's a TARDIS, and I love it so much. Anyway,
you should get right police box on the top.
I've got stuff on eBay. Whenever I get some more money, I got decals I'm going to put on it.
Nice.
Like St. John's.
For the longest time, I've been wanting to put a Cobra logo like in the middle of my rear windshield, but I'm not one of those people who's going to like deck out my back windshield and be like, well, I can't see anything.
How big is it?
The Cobra decal?
Yeah.
It would be like huge. It would be right in the middle.
Oh, I thought you meant like a circle.
No, this is like the one I want.
Like a full blown. Like
Yeah.
you work for Cobra.
Yeah.
Not just like I'm supporting them.
Yeah.
Oh no, you should get the ones where like if you can't see in or whatever, but like you can see out of it. You know, one of those. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, like they normally have big old wolf paintings. It looks like on them and stuff. I don't know, or tap out.
Support our troops and our fetuses. I wanted to get that, and then I wanted to get like on a smaller scale. I wanted to get the Dreadnought logo and put it like to the side.
Is that what tattoo you wanted?
Yeah, when I don't have tattoos, and I'm constantly like, should I get them? No, because everyone says they're like masturbation and potato chips. Once you get one, you aren't gonna stop doing it. Because at first I'm like, okay, I'll do a Cobra logo on one bicep and a Dreadnought logo on the other bicep. That'll be badass. And I'm like, I can't just do that, because then I'm gonna be like, okay, well, I'll get Breaker on my leg, and then I'm like, no, I'll do a whole like sleeve of. Well, it's not really a sleeve if it's on your leg, is it? I don't know.
It's a pant? Is it a pant?
I don't know.
It's a pant. TM.
But like, I don't know, and I went with one of our friends to get a tattoo, and not to get like, I went as like for support for her to get a tattoo, and I'm looking at the tattoos on the wall that people have gotten. People get some really fucking stupid tattoos. Like there's one chick who had a packet of Ritz crackers done right in the middle of her tits, and I was just like, well, what could possibly be the purpose?
Oh, God.
And then, like, one person had zebra cakes on their leg.
I would get that. I love some zebra cakes.
Like, I just don't get, like... Because if I get a tattoo, it's going to be something I love. You know, Dukes of Hazzard, G.I. Joe, something I'm never going to stop loving.
Yeah, like, I'm a huge, you of all people know how big of a fan I am of the Beatles.
Oh, yeah.
Like, Paul McCartney, he's my father. He just doesn't know it. And I'm so excited I get to see him at Bonnaroo. But I've wanted Let It Be on my wrist forever because it means a lot to me. It got me through so much stuff. That song just speaks to me. I love it. And I want it on there, but it's like, that's going to be on me forever.
Yeah.
And I don't know, just something like that that's on me that I can't get rid of. Like, one day, like, my thing is, like, one day, what if, like, the Beatles are, like
Satan.
demonic warlords coming to kill your children? I'm just like, oh, crap. They're just like anything video game. Like, different logos, if you get put on you, I'm like, what if one day, like, the creator of it was, like, a terrible Satanist who also killed little children? I was like, oh, I don't want that on me.
It's just the thing for me. Like, I don't think... Like, I see more trouble arising from getting tattoos than I do just enjoying them. Like, because I want the Orishikage on my arm, too, like Snake Eyes has, but... Mm-hmm. It's just one of those things, like, once you have it, it's there, and, like, the therapy to get rid of them is so horrible and expensive. And I just can't commit to it. Like, that's something I acknowledge about myself. Like, if I get one, I'm not going to be happy.
Yeah. It's like I want it, but then I keep looking at it, I was like, I don't know, would it look weird? Like, I don't know what my profession's going to be and stuff like that, and I don't want to have to put makeup on it and stuff. I mean, tattoos, some of them are cool. I mean, I'm not hating on anybody that has tattoos. I mean,
no, I've seen some amazing tattoos.
Yeah, they're wonderful. It's just like, I mean, some of y'all are just stupid, but then others, I mean, y'all have awesome
Zebra
tattoos.
cake titty lady.
Yeah, cracker tits. But some of y'all are stupid, just getting idiotic stuff like that. But some of them are just gorgeous.
I know a guy with a Squirtle on in the middle of his chest.
All right, I get a Charmander. I'm on them with that.
It's huge.
Okay, well, not huge, because I don't like people coloring on me with needles. So stay in the lines.
That's my problem. I'm like, if I jerk in the middle of the needle being stabbed in my skin, am I just going to have a line going out in the middle of nowhere forever?
Yes. One thing I wanted to touch on really quick. When we were watching Doctor Who last night, we saw a thing about was it Regal and AMC pulling all the marketing stuff for Iron Man 3 and stopping their pre-sale tickets.
Yeah.
Because Disney wanted 65% revenue and they normally get 50 to 55%, and AMC and Regal thought that was too much. What do you think about that?
I think Disney, Disney bought Marvel for what was it, 4 million or 440? It was a huge number. Like, it might have
More
been
than
4
I'll
billion.
ever make.
Yeah, it was like just a ridiculous shit ton of money. And they clearly don't need it, is my thing. And like that, Iron Man 3 was in production, I think, before. No, it was after they bought it, because it's been a while.
Was it?
Yeah. But still, like, you don't need the money. That's the thing. Like, if you were a fledgling company, I could see the struggle for, like, oh, this is why we want 60%.
Mm-hmm.
But Disney, probably the biggest company on Earth.
And one of the biggest movies of the year.
Yeah, it does not need an extra 5%.
Mm-mm. Or 10%.
Yeah, well, if they were at 50 and they're like, okay, we want 55, and that's something movies got, I'm like, okay, we'll give it to them. Keep them
Now
happy.
they want 65.
See, I understand the fight on that one, because movie theaters don't make a shit ton of money. Like, I discovered this getting into things, because everyone's always like bitching about, oh, popcorn and drink is like $12, and I'm like, yeah, that's the majority of how they make their money. That's why I always, even if we go to like our local theater, which is crap, I'll try to get something, because I'm like, okay, they need it.
Mm-hmm.
But, don't be bastards, because we all know you have the money. You're making,
You have Disney World. You're not hurting.
You're about to start making, a Star Wars movie every year. We all know those will make shit tons. You don't need it, and you're taking it from people who really do.
Yeah. And honestly, I don't think this will hurt Iron Man sales
No.
at all, because the people who are going to go see it with advanced screenings who are buying those tickets, they're going to go either way. They'll stand outside and get their ticket that night if they have to.
Oh, yeah.
Like, that's going to be me. If I have to, I'm going to go see it at midnight. And when's it come out? You said next Thursday, right? Thursday night? If we don't get an advance?
Yeah.
Which I didn't realize it was that soon. I thought it was like 2-3 weeks later. Like, that and Arrested Development is like just sneaking up on me. I didn't realize Arrested Development came on tomorrow.
Yeah.
But Iron Man 3, I'm really excited for it, but I don't understand why Disney's just, I don't know. They seem to be getting really greedy lately. And,
Lately?
well, okay, even more so. I guess now that they're more in the public eye with everything. But of course...
they bought everything. They own Marvel. They own Star Wars. And they own other companies, which is kind of how they're dodging the whole monopoly thing. But damn it, somebody has got to stop them eventually.
Yeah.
Because there were rumors for a long time, and they've kind of went away, but I don't think that makes them any less true that they want to buy Hasbro, who is, of course, the company responsible for G.I. Joe, Marvel figures, Star Wars figures, pretty much everything big with the exception of Barbie and DC figures. Like, I'm not kidding. And Hot Wheels. Like, that's the big three they don't own.
The only good thing about them buying Hasbro and all these other things that they could buy and have bought would be theme parks. That's the only good thing I could take away from it. Like having rides and stuff like that. Like the Harry Potter thing. That's not Disney, though.
That's Universal.
That's Universal. Still, they did an awesome job with that. I'm going to try to go back next year because I don't have time this year. But that was wonderful. Like, if we can get theme parks like that based on our, Marvel World.
Or you've seen... They have Islands of Adventure, which I love.
Yeah, more stuff like that. But, Disney, since they own it and stuff like that now, they could do something really awesome, like a bunch of interactive stuff.
Well, that really makes me curious because, at first everyone was worried, like, oh, do they have to take the island out? And they're like, no, we get to keep it. But, now when you hear, next year China is getting their own, Marvel theme park. Mm-hmm. Now, Disney has a whole interactive Iron Man 3 exhibit where you can suit up and try out the armor digitally. And I'm like, so is Universal just screwed? Do they never get anything else? Because that'll kill that island.
Seems like all they would have is Harry Potter.
Yeah, well, they got Jurassic Park, Toon Lagoon, Dr. Seuss Land or Seuss World or whatever the fuck it's called.
People care about that.
It's just trippy walking through. Like, I was a kid. I was 10 or 12 when I went. Harry Potter wasn't there. It was still the Sinbad area. And I didn't write anything in Dr. Seuss World. Even younger, I was just walking through. I'm like, wow, this is kind of cool how they built everything. And I was done.
Yeah, I think I went through it on the way out. Yeah, on the way out of the Harry Potter park, or the Wizarding World of Harry Potter. Which that was awesome. Man, that place
I
was
really want to go
sweet.
back. Like, I'm not the biggest Harry Potter fan in the world, but I really want to see that.
I am.
I know you are.
I was really upset you didn't finish reading the books.
Well, it was one of those things. Like, I went to the Midnight for 4, and book 5 came out, and I think my girlfriend at the time was just like so into it.
I dressed up for the finale.
Nice.
I did.
I
had my Voldemort wand that I got at the.
Like, the chick I was with just sat on the couch. She's like, "Hey, I want you to come over." And I'm like, "Oh, cool. What are we doing?" She's like, "I'm going to read Harry Potter." And I'm like, "What am I going to do?" She's like, "You can sit here and watch TV quietly." I'm like, "Oh." So, like, whenever something cool would happen, she would stop and tell me and then go back to reading. Like, yeah, that's nice, baby.
I got my. I don't know how old I was when the last one came out, but I got my mother up at, like. They had. Because our Walmart, I grew up in a backwoods county, like, so our Walmart closed at like 10, and so I got her up at like 4 o'clock in the morning to go to our Walmart to go get it because they were doing some weird release. They didn't have a midnight; they had like a 5 o'clock thing, like five or 6 o'clock in the morning. So I got her up early, read it all the way to the beach. So I went to the beach with some family, read it. Then I didn't even go to the beach for like the first 2 days because I was just sitting in a hammock just constantly reading that book, and I didn't put it down until I was done. Like when we went to restaurants, I was reading it. I could not stop. It's such wonderfully written. Very anticlimactic though, but pretty good. I loved it.
Wasn't there a battle?
Yeah. I mean, there's a huge battle like for the school, but like Harry and Voldemort, it's just like the ending part, it's just like, yeah, oh, I got your wand, flick it back on you, it's over.
What did you want to happen? They're wizards, not UFC fighters.
Yeah, but just let Harry throw down some, okay? I mean, basically that whole like.
I bought a gun.
No, a bazooka. Like the whole.
Magic up a tank.
Like, oh wow, like just Green Lantern it up. The whole big fight with the whole last fight with Harry and Voldemort was probably like half a paragraph. Like maybe just one little paragraph. That was it. And I was like, oh shit, he's dead. And I was like, yep. Here you go. So what'd you think about the Thor Dark World trailer?
I mean, it was really good for an initial trailer. Like, we saw a lot. We didn't just see like, oh, Thor's coming back. It was really. I've seen a lot of people online that were like, oh, when I saw Thor, it was just build up to Avengers. Now I don't care.
I thought Thor was a lot better than I expected it to be.
Oh, yeah. Like, I loved it. I thought it was a fantastic movie.
It made me care about him.
Yeah.
Because I was just like, Thor, okay. Like, I have some really, 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 like the 40s or 50s comics of Thor. And it sucks so bad. Like, I don't like it. I mean, I'm not hating on people who do. But I just couldn't get it. I couldn't like Thor. But that movie just was like, oh, they made him likable.
Well, Thor is really. It's like the Hulk. Depending on what time period you're reading a different character. Because, with Thor, he had, I can't remember Thor's, like, human's name. They made a joke about the movie. Blake Foster, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, that was only referenced. And
that was, like, his, that ID tag?
It was, like, he walked with a limp, and he would strike the cane, and he would become Thor. And it was like, he became Thor. It was a superpower, but it was completely, his own entity.
Like Shazam?
Kind of.
Unless it's not a little
No,
kid.
that's just Billy Batson getting power. That Thor was a completely different,
Mm-hmm.
He was his own character.
Right. But yeah, I like how they are bringing Natalie Portman back. I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they kind of referenced her in Avengers, too.
Yeah.
I'm glad they did that. I'm glad they're bringing her back, because for some reason I felt like I was concerned that she didn't want to come back or something. Maybe I was imagining it. I don't know. But I'm glad that they're bringing her back. And Christopher Eccleston, the Ninth Doctor, Destro, is going to be, what's his name? Like,
I don't know. Like, this is apparently...
Malachi.
And I don't read a lot of Thor comics. This is apparently like a big art. Like, he brings in a warrior, Thor beats him up, he comes back like twice as powerful.
I don't like that Christopher Eccleston didn't really change his voice or anything. He's still very Scottish.
Yeah.
Like, he's still the same thing. So when I watch it, I'm going to see the Doctor.
Yeah.
And it's going to be bad. It's like, so, okay, he regenerated and turned into an elf. But so what's the premise of this story actually? Like, why is he coming to Earth? Why did he come to Earth to get Jane and take her up to?
I forget. I think that's just like, oh, I told you I'd come back. Here I am. And I think then there's like an invasion and a big battle. Like right now, the story. That's really the only part I remember is there's like it's Malekith and then it's
Malekith.
He brings in like a warrior and Thor beats him. And like I said, he comes back stronger because that's like superhero hype laid it out when they announced the characters. And I've never read those comics.
The special effects and everything looks really good. You can tell it looks like they got maybe a bigger budget this time.
Yeah,
this time around
because we see like a huge battle scene happening.
Yeah, like kind of in a desert looking area.
Yeah, like we see Sif going at it, and
oh yeah.
I don't know. Like right now, I don't have a whole lot of. It looks like I'm going to see it, no doubt, but.
Yeah.
It looks like it's going to deliver, but I'm not the Thor guy. I love the first movie. I'm excited for this one, but I don't have a lot to say about the trailer.
Yes. Do you have any inklings of what you think the secret ending might be?
For Thor?
Yeah.
I don't know, because, Iron Man's big secret ending, everyone said was like, oh, it's going to be, set up for Guardians of the Galaxy. It's going to be him putting on the deep space armor and taking off, and now we know that's not true. Iron Man's secret ending is, not that it won't satisfy you, but it's nothing that sets up anything. It's a joke, kind of.
Which I'm hoping that's like the ending credits, kind of like how they did the Avengers.
Yeah, like maybe we get a better setup in the middle of the credits.
Yeah.
But I see, like, because from what I hear, we don't get that. But I mean, I'm also hearing now in Iron Man 3 we're getting some big twist that's going to piss a lot of people off.
I mean, if they can work it in right, I'm all for it. They haven't fully disappointed me yet. I mean, they kind of disappointed me in Iron Man 2. But the way they tied it in with everything and like with Thor and stuff, I was pretty satisfied. But I don't know do we know what this twist might be?
I don't, that's the thing. I don't have any clue. Because, I'm like, they're not going to make the Mandarin a good guy at the end or anything, so.
Oh, yeah, Mandarin. I was like, who? Yeah, Mandarin. Wow, I totally.
Like, unless they try to, make some crazy, oh, I'm also a villain. Like, I'm also this villain or some crap, like.
You'll never see me coming.
Because there was a lot of guesses at the that we're going to see another villain in there because we're told early on like fire powers in the movie, cold blood's in the movie, and now it looks like if they aren't going to be like armored villains. Mm-hmm. And if there's a twist at the end, I think it's going to be like, oh, I'm the Mandarin, and when I put all this crap on, you can call me, and they'll have a name drop and there'll be another villain. It's like, oh great, we got screwed out of another villain because the Mandarin powered up or something.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. Like I'm still trying to figure out how. Winter Soldier will tie into everything. Like, how do we know if Captain America 2 is going to work with both time periods?
It'll be flashbacks, stuff like that.
But, like, will it be flashbacks with Captain America in the past also?
Yeah. Like, from what I hear, we're going to see World War II Cap, like, full-on uniform and everything.
Oh, since the first one kind of just went to different...
Yeah.
Like, it kind of had a lot of gaps and stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I didn't think about it that way. But, ladies and gentlemen, this has been episode 3 of Sarcasm and Soundwaves. Appreciate you for listening. As always, I am Carolina Poison with the one and only JTrain997. Follow us on, subscribe to this channel. We'll link the...
Follow everything we say.
You know what? Follow everything. I might do a Vine, because that's a thing now. You can follow me at JTylerGreen. If you want to talk Doctor Who. You can follow at Sarcasm Sounds for the official podcast Twitter, and follow, which I'll link in the description, the actual YouTube channel for this podcast, which we will carry everything over in the next few weeks or a few months. We don't know how it goes. But thank you guys for listening.
As long as it takes you guys to subscribe.
I know. You guys need to hurry up. But this has been episode 3 of Sarcasm and Soundwaves. Thank you guys for listening.